unfortunately, the bio gives you like 30 characters or so. So this is where your elevator pitch comes in. If I'm in the elevator with you and I want to know what you do, I don't have time for a minute and a half for you to tell me what you do. I have 30 seconds to get from floor 1 to 8.
Elevator pitch. I like that. Okay, so episode 4. This is episode 4. Actually, when I was I heard a stat that I think it's like 80% or something like that of people don't make it past episode 4. So I'm here.
This is your turning point.
This is my turning point. This is my make it or break it point. Can we get a clap? Gang. Is that recording? That's good? That's recording?
Yeah, it's recording. Honestly, like you were starting.
That's okay. I might as well start. Yeah. I'll use all of it.
I thought that was like a way of starting the episode. Oh.
That's a really good intro.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to keep it then. Cool. I'm going to literally keep this in the intro.
There you go.
How's your day?
It's good.
How's life?
Life is great.
Are you nervous?
A little.
Wow.
Now that you like stare at me like that.
All right, cool. Well, if you're nervous, then tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Okay. Oh, wait. I'm not allowed to look at the camera, right?
Oh, you can look at me. We can talk.
Okay,
cool.
Well, my name's Sofia Aguilar, and I am a full-time content creator.
Nice.
I'm also an owner of a dance company, and I am in ministry at church, and I do social media full-time.
Wow. So you're involved in quite a few things. How did you become a content creator? Actually, I did notice that you changed your bio to content queen. So how did you get there?
So I have been creating content since I was about 14. I've always liked to show everything. Like I've always been the type of person where if I can't have everyone there, I'll create videos or pictures to be able to like keep those memories. So people would always ask me like, why are you always taking photos? Why are you always taking videos? My camera roll has over like 40,000 videos and photos. So
40,000?
Yeah. So I have like terabytes on terabytes. But I've always loved to do that. So when I was working at restaurants or I would go on vacation, I would just document everything. And it started out with people just asking me if I could feature some of their products on my page. And then it started being a paid thing. And then when I realized that the power of sharing and documenting, especially now in our new age, started like you could monetize it and make money from it. That's kind of when it started intriguing me. So I just started researching and just getting to know the right people. And then I just decided, you know what, like I'm going to quit my job. And if like God willing, this is going to go forward. And I really made sure that my goal was to always stay authentic. Like it's really, really hard to get lost in content creation or just like putting yourself out there and wanting to be like other people. But I think why I came up with the name Content Queen and how I got here was just wanting to be my authentic self at all times and sharing the authenticity of other people's products, services, or events.
Okay, dope. And we're at a day and age where content is everything. Why would you say content is so important for your personal brand or just business in general?
So I think content creation is important, not just if you have a business, but if you're building a brand. And the thing is, we need to treat like marketing as if there's only one way right now, which is social media. Pretend there's no phones. Pretend you can't go to door. Pretend the only way that your items will be seen and can get purchased or that your service matters in a way is if somebody can visually see it. And because we went through a pandemic and everything like that, it became much more exclusive because you had no choice but to document things virtually and visually. And that is the way that nowadays people buy into things. There's reasons why if you pass by a shop, they have a visual mannequin with the clothes on because they want you to feel and see yourself already in it. And that's exactly why content creation is important, because you want somebody to already feel or see themselves in your work or give them an emotional connection through the videos, photos that you post online.
I agree. One thing, like for like beginner content creators, right? How do they figure out like what their target audience wants to hear?
I think this question is like all around. It's all
It is
like,
all around.
how do you find your niche, and how do you find who to speak
how
to?
do you find your niche?
So
for beginners, or how did you find your niche?
So for me, like I am my niche. Like my lifestyle is my niche. I don't have a particular like at the beginning I thought dance was my niche, and then I thought network marketing was my niche, and then I thought the gym was my niche. But all in all, my lifestyle is a niche.
Okay.
The person that I am and everything that I do is a niche. So the people that I speak to are people just like me. And I think that's where we get lost. We get lost in trying to just identify this perfect individual, when really and truly we just need to look at ourselves. Like, would you buy your own product? Would you buy your own service? And anytime somebody comes to me to ask me like, who's my niche and who's my target audience?
So you're a brand more than a business. You yourself are a brand.
A brand. Yeah. Yeah, I sell a service, and I think overall, like I am a brand. Like think of Nike, think of Adidas,
all these
like
sports and stuff like that.
Yeah, so they fall into lifestyle. They don't just look at athletes, but now they're getting into the realm of looking at day-to-day individuals wearing Adidas, because they don't think about Adidas if they just make if they just target basketball, or they just show basketball players. Only basketball players are going to buy your stuff.
Yeah,
do you want just basketball players buying your stuff? Or do you think that there's somebody who's not a basketball player that wants to buy it because you're only marketing that one thing, you're going to turn them away. So that's why for me, I market everything, because I want people not just dancers, not just content creators, not just specific niche businesses, but I want everybody to be and feel like they can access my services.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So I guess, I'm pretty niche based, because obviously this is the Black is New Rich podcast, and my target audience would be like beginner entrepreneurs. Would you say that's a problem because I'm so niche based? No,
I think that's awesome, because you're identifying the kind of individuals you want to work with. So who you want to work with and who you want to target are a little bit different, because I'm going to watch your podcast as a beginner entrepreneur. I still consider myself a beginner entrepreneur, but someone like Eric Worre or like Gary Vee or Jay Shetty might still be interested in your podcast, because they're going to hear what new entrepreneurs are saying, and they're going to use that to start selling a new service or a new product.
That's exactly what they do.
Yeah. So you're not just targeting new, like maybe that's the people who you're getting on the podcast, but everybody who's watching your stuff could be seasoned, could be non-Black entrepreneurs, or like all around the world kind of individuals. You know what I mean?
Okay, cool. And for like a beginner entrepreneur, how much, I hear this a lot. I get this question a lot for people that ask me like to create content or whatever. But what do you think, how much content should they be putting out in the beginning?
As much as you can. Like everything is content. From you
put out a lot of content.
A lot. And everything is content to me. Like opening up a box, taking it out of the box.
Yeah.
And people overthink things. They think you need to have a filter and you need a 4K camera. Like my best asset is my cell phone.
Yeah.
You have a cell phone, you can create content. It's not that serious. And people think you need some sort of high quality cameras or microphones to create good content. But if that's all you have, use it to your best advantage. Like use it and abuse it. So I think that if we're talking like an actual physical number, I think everybody needs to have 10 to 20 stories a day
10
minimum.
20 stories a day.
Yeah. And let me break it down to you. So I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
I already have an idea of what I'm going to do in my day. This is where my content planner comes in for me.
Okay.
So in the morning, I have a routine, right? So I pray, I journal. That's content for me, because I'm in like somebody else is receiving that information somewhere.
Yeah.
I go to the gym. That's content. On my drive, I share my favorite song. Then I get home and I share what I'm eating. I talk about a client or a service. I post a reel so I relate something to it. That's only midday, right? I'm here doing the podcast I'm going to share here. I'm on my way home. I'm going to talk about how the podcast was.
Yeah.
I get home and I make dinner. That's 10.
That's 10.
I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to do my night routine, or maybe something exciting. I don't know. I'm going shopping. I'm watching a movie. Somewhere in between, you can make it work, right?
Okay. So I have a question. So I'm going to play a little bit devil's advocate.
Okay.
So because I could see how that can absolutely work for you, because you brand yourself as a lifestyle. But for someone like me, I don't brand myself as my private life. I'm sorry, my life is very private.
Yeah.
So would that work with me?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you have clips of other entrepreneurs, right? So you're showcasing brands.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason as to why your face needs to be, because your face is not your brand doesn't revolve around you, right?
Yeah.
It revolves around other people.
Yeah.
So for you, it would be, what about you feature a different entrepreneur a day. You feature a different business a day.
True.
You ask questions. Instagram makes it so easy for everybody to use engagement stickers. Like, they're there for a reason. They're not difficult. Ask people what they want to see.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you're going to learn what content to create.
Yeah,
ask questions so you can, get people to ask you questions so you can give them answers. That's content. Share a link so that it's clickable.
Mm-hmm.
Use the GIFs. Like, there's always something you can use and repost. If your goal is to showcase other entrepreneurs, then you can do that daily, or maybe for you, you don't have to do it daily because people are always funneling through your page. So it may work where you can have content 2 days a week, 3 days a week, and it's not like a day-to-day thing. But I really do think that people overcomplicate the type of content they need to post because they don't think that content is like efficient for them. Like they think that, and which is great. Like, if you can sell your business without content and you can make $1 million without content, just imagine what you can do with it.
Yeah, facts.
Right?
Because your reach is out way more. Okay, cool. So through my platform, I get to see a lot of businesses that are on the come up, right? And I always read bios. What is some type of advice that you can say about people's Instagram and TikTok bios? Because some of them, I see that they're all over the place, or I don't even know what they do within their bio. So what could you say about that?
So I actually wrote this down because I think that this question goes so much on my radar.
Okay.
So I'm going to read to you exactly what I tell everybody because it's something so important, yet it's significant, but it's the small difference that can make your business from being seen and just overlooked. So explain who you are and what you do, right? Unfortunately, the bio gives you like 30 characters or so. So this is where your elevator pitch comes in. If I'm in the elevator with you and I want to know what you do, I don't have time for 1.5 minutes for you to tell me what you do. I have 30 seconds to get from floor 1 to 8.
Elevator pitch. I like that one.
So explain who you are, target your niche audience with specific words. So mine is, I help entrepreneurs create content with ease. That's it. Hey, Sophia, what do you do? I help entrepreneurs create content with ease. What entrepreneurs? What does ease mean? Tell me more, right? That's how I get people. So they're going to be like, okay, cool. You link your website. There's something below that allows you to link your website, your bio. Maybe it's a link tree or utilize something that people can have access to the different ways to purchase your service, whatever it may be. Provide additional ways for your followers to get in touch. DM me for help, or click below to get my freebie, right?
Yeah,
give them additional ways. So
value.
Even in your link tree, and even in your link tree, you can put those clickable things. If it's a freebie that you have, maybe it's a link to some products that you always share on your story and your followers always want that. Give them different ways to receive that value. And then the last one is show your personality. I think everybody has a gift and everybody has a different way to target people. So the difference of why I'm going to listen to your podcast and somebody else's podcast is really not you. It's really not the kind of content that you have, to be honest.
It's about me.
It's about you and your personality. There are so many photographers, and I'm sure you know that. There's so many videographers, photographers, people that can do what you do. But the difference of why I'm going to go for you as a videographer and a photographer is because of the value that you give, your personality. Do you make me feel welcome? Do I feel comfortable around you? Can I relate to you? And that's exactly why your podcast is going to blow up, because you not only have your essence and your personality, but you have people that everybody can relate to. You have people from all different walks of life, background, services, and brands, where it's I'm going to listen to this podcast because it's showcasing personality and it's not blah, right?
So talk about your content creation services, because I knew from off the camera, I know that you do it for individuals and brands and businesses. How does that work?
So it just kind of depends. I do a discovery call at the beginning because people think they know what they want, but they really don't. So
like,
when
give me an example of.
So when somebody says they want content, there's 3 different types of content.
Okay.
Like there's visual content, there's written content, like blogs, carousel posts, and then there's like design, right?
Okay.
So visual, be it videos, photos, reels, IGTVs, written is going to be like blogs and carousels and all that. And then there's digital stuff, which is like any like photos that are created on like designer platforms, stuff like that, right? So when people say they want content, usually they come and ask me for like written stuff or like carousel posts to post on their stuff. And while I think that's really important, there's nothing more important than you actually showing up on and using the stuff on Instagram. So what I found that people really struggle with is reels and just creating authentic content. So that's what I would say I focus on. I'm starting to switch up my bio as well. So I switched content queen over. Now I also want to share authentic content in there. So it might be like, I help entrepreneurs create authentic content with ease because people overcomplicate the reels. And the thing is, I've heard that content creation is hard and I've heard that circle around, but it's not that it's hard. You just don't know how to do it. So what I do is I come up with a vision board for the brand.
Yeah.
And I say, listen, this is what I think you should do. This is, I think, what's missing. So almost like an Instagram audit where I go through the do's and the don'ts of their Instagram, change up their bio, their highlights and all of that. And then I get right to researching their business, right? If you're an esthetician, I go and find other estheticians in the area around the world and what they're doing because chances are if somebody's doing it, you can do it too. Like it's not rocket science. So a lot of my clients, either estheticians, realtors, so I find out what's working. I find out what is not working. And then I find the like trending sounds, the trending reels, and what's going to make your page visible, because that's what it's all about. Like, how can we make your page visible so that you can increase in followers and reach and obviously increase in sales, which I'm pretty sure everybody wants. So after all that research is done by me, the creator or the entrepreneur feels comfortable that like we have everything taken care of. We book the studio and then we get right to creating. What I find is that the reason why people fail in content creation is they don't have a plan. So I come to you with a plan and call sheets of the outfit that you need to wear, the direction, the poses, so that when you're here, we're not wasting time going on our phone, finding out what outfit to wear in your closet. Everything's planned and ready to go. And it's organized so that you feel comfortable that like I have it under control. I film it all, I edit it all, and then the individual will get it within 72 hours. Personally, as an entrepreneur, I think the biggest thing is that things need to be done fast. Like we're in a microwave society. So like we want things done fast, but that's the best way to achieve results. If you create content today and I wait for it for 3 weeks, honestly, I'm probably not going to want to post it after that. But if I can reassure you that you're going to get it within 2-3 days from us working with each other, it's still exciting. It's still momentum. You can still build that on your page and they'll come back. But the goal is actually for you not to come back.
Why?
Because it's not that I don't want you to hire me again. It's that I want to give you the tools necessary for you to feel comfortable doing it alone.
Okay, fair.
My goal is not to have you spending your money all the time on me and teaching you the tips and tricks. So
that's why that initial price got to be something.
That's why I charge what I charge, because you're not walking in and walking out with nothing. You're walking in with nothing and leaving with absolutely everything I know. So what I will end up doing is I send them a document of everything that they need. And then all of my clients now create their own content. They'll send me messages asking me for help, but now they feel so comfortable that they can do this on their own, that they don't ever need me again. And then that's a job well done, though. Yeah, like that's the goal. So that's kind of what it's like working with me. I am working on something different because I feel like a lot of people need additional help. So with additional help comes, the prices go up, but the more value that you're going to get working with me.
Okay, cool. So with all these different platforms, you have Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Facebook, and whatever else is out there. What should people be using the most, or like how? Because I can see how hard it could be, like posting on every single platform. Should people be focusing on one or two, or should they be like spreading themselves thin with everything?
I think, again, it's people overcomplicate everything. You can take this podcast and use written, visual, audible. That's what we're doing. Right? So the audible is going to go on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Yeah.
The visual can go on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and the written can go on LinkedIn, blogs. So you're just repurposing content, and people think they need to come up with new content all the time.
Yeah.
I have content that I used from a year ago that I'm still using to this day. The reels that I post today, you're going to see it in reel format, but next week you're going to see it written. And the following week, you're going to see a visual again. So the thing is, like, we don't pay attention to that because we have like short term memory, and we're like, oh, this is new information, which you're not lying. You're just continuously giving back the value to remind people. So I think don't get ahead of yourself if you're just starting your business. Like focus on one and see what works, and then branch out, repurpose that content. Right now I'm getting on TikTok because I see that it's something that is blowing up, but I also know what my strengths are, and it's really Instagram. It's really the value and the shareable content. So now what I'm doing is I'm just taking everything on my Instagram platform and plopping it into TikTok, and it's doing the exact same thing, if not more. Yeah,
because TikTok algorithms are going way easier than Instagram.
Yeah, and it's just easier, like, to, I guess, Instagram's more like a gallery. Yeah. TikTok's like swipe. You know what I mean? So with Instagram, it becomes more personable, more like authentic. Like the amount of people I've met through Instagram, and I feel like I know their whole lives, but I feel like through TikTok, it's a little bit less than that. So maybe if you're someone who's more private or like introvert and don't want to show your face necessarily and just want to show the direct thing, TikTok would probably be great for you. And then YouTube and then Instagram will be more of like storytelling, which, to be honest, storytelling is probably what makes you the most money.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I do with some of my content. Like I'll see something on TikTok or Instagram. I'll see someone teaching something that could be for my audience, and I'll just make the video. I'll make similar video and reteach the same content. What do you think about that?
I think that's the smartest thing ever. Again, if it's not stealing and it's not,
I don't think it's stealing.
It's not you not being authentic, because it's what you do, right? I follow, the main people that I follow on my Instagram are social media managers and content creators and photographers.
Also, why? It's getting a lot of ideas from all of them.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like everything that I need to learn is on Instagram. I've taught everything I need to know on my own. Like I've taught myself that, which is what is the like probably the most valuable thing about me, because if I can learn it, that means my audience can learn it as well. So I go and find, I guess like accessible ways to teach the information as well. So if, you know, something's working for this individual, you take it, you repurpose it, and you make it your own, right? That's essentially all we do. Information that's taken off of books, Think and Grow Rich. All of the new coaches or anybody in the world is just quoting Think and Grow Rich. Where does that come from? They quote Bob Proctor. They quote like above and above and above the Bible. Like, so I think it's the smartest thing, and that's probably what's going to save you the most time.
Yeah, facts. Because I even on my page, I even take motivational quotes that I see from like celebrities, and I'll just rip them up, put my Black is Rich label on that, and they go when it comes to the reels.
Because it's relatable content.
Exactly,
and that's just what people need to focus on, is what are people going to relate to? And I'm working on a post right now, and it's the 5 E's of content marketing. And I won't share it all, so you guys can go and see it on my Instagram. So you'll have to follow me. But essentially, you just want to engage, you want to encourage people, you want to educate, you want to empathize with them. Like there's so many things that you want to do. Hold on,
did you just tell us the 5?
No. I missed one. I told you 4.
Okay.
So like essentially just reshare the content, make sure it's relatable, but keep adding that value, because yes, Instagram is entertainment for entertainment purposes, but I'm not going to come on your page to just be entertained. I can be entertained elsewhere. Yes, like I want value, I want education, and I want to walk out of your page with more than I came on with.
Like Gary Vee says, is it? Jab, jab, hook. Have you heard of that? Where you give information, give value, and then you make your ask.
Yep. Absolutely.
I've noticed you've mentioned a few names, big names. Who would you consider like your like virtual mentors?
Honestly, and this is not to knock anybody, but in the society that we live in, it's really hard to look up to anybody. And maybe this is just me. I don't know if anybody can relate to this, but you don't really know what's real and what's not. So somebody
how do you filter that then?
I think it's discernment. Like it's my personal, like if I want to know something, currently, because I'm on my spiritual walk, I go to the Bible or I go to my mentors from the church. But if I really want to know something, like, for example, John C. Maxwell and Bob Proctor are people that I actually do look up to, read their books, because I know that success is not about a financial number. So I will not read anything that has to do with finances first. It's always goes back down to your mindset. So if I know that I can rewire my mindset, everything else is going to come. And with mindset comes like your belief system, the things that you're consuming. So I know that if I'm learning from a genuine source like John C. Maxwell or Bob Proctor, then everything else comes after it. Your mindset is probably the thing that's most important. So that's why I say, like, watch what you consume, especially on Instagram and or any other platforms, because it's so easy to get consumed into the wrong things, like money, like success, like results. But the results won't come until you work on your mindset. So I guess, like, I don't, like, in the new age of coaches or entrepreneurs coming up right now, like, I don't listen to anybody that's like new in a way, and I don't want to be rude, but I think I just go up to where the root is, right?
Yeah, because one of my sayings is be careful who you listen to, because I think it's very important that we filter who we listen to, because we can be misled with a lot of information, because it's so easy to do in this day and age.
Yeah.
So I dig that. You mentioned something that sparked an idea. So with all this content, like for me in the summer, I had to take like a 3-month social media break. What do you think about like mental health and social media? Because I do think they play on each other in some way if you get too consumed or too lost. What do you think about that?
So I'm not going to lie. I dealt with that about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you cannot let social media use you like you use it. So people don't have boundaries, and I think that's where it stems from. You need to have boundaries. This is my business.
True.
Which means that my business won't flourish if I'm not flourishing. And that's in any area that you work with. Maybe you don't use Instagram right now. Maybe that's not it, but maybe you work in retail and you find that your job is consuming you. You just need to take control of it. And we're all in control of that, right? So if you're spending too many hours on social media, then that's a you problem. If you're allowing social media to consume you, that's a you problem. There are scientific facts about screen time and stuff like that. But if you know that already affects you, then cut down on it.
Yeah.
I'm very intentional with how much I spend on social media. I am, and like, people are surprised by this, but I use social media for 2 hours a day, and I have the track record on my app because I stop it after 2 hours.
Could I pull that receipt up later?
100%. Even my whole screen time, like, you know how Apple literally tells you how long you're on your phone? 7 hours.
Okay.
It has been like my medium. Before, when I didn't know how to use social media and I was like always on my phone, probably like, it was actually nasty. It was like 24 hours. And I'm like, so I'm not getting sleep. Like, what's wrong with me?
That's crazy.
It's so easy to be consumed by it because you want to be like, you want to be up to the date. You want to be up to trends.
You want to see everyone's stuff.
You have to realize that you have everything that you need to be successful, and you have everything that you need to produce the right content. You just need to know the right way to do it. So as soon as you can take control of that, and I feel like I haven't mastered it to a T, because I'm not, again, like, I'm not going to lie. Some days I don't want to post, but then I ask myself, like, do I feel, where's it coming from? Like, is it coming from a genuine place? And one of the tips that I give my clients first is, what's your intention behind the post that you're going to make? If we're going to make a reel, is our intention engagement? Is it reach? Is it sales? Is it value? Because the moment you start posting without like cognitive connections, like, you lost it. Because if I'm going to post a prayer, there's an intention. If I'm posting my food, probably to show my coach that I'm eating right, or that it's a diary for me. Like, I'm like, wow, like, I'm staying consistent.
It's your lifestyle. It's your healthy lifestyle.
That's my lifestyle. So there's always an intention behind it. If it doesn't serve me, I'm not watching it. If it doesn't add value to my life, I'm not watching it. I just think, I don't have it to a T, but if it doesn't concern me, if it doesn't serve me, and if it doesn't add value to my life, I'm probably not going to watch it. And that's where, I guess, identifying your niche and your target audience, it really does depend who you're scrolling and who you're watching. If you look at I delete a lot of the people or the things that I follow that are not going to serve my purpose. I mute a lot of people's stories. Yeah. And I mean, beyond muting it, I unfollow because like, I don't want, your stories are not adding value. Your posts are also not. So I'm not going to follow you just to have another follow. Like, it's not a cancel culture, but it's a like, this is my business. Like Instagram is my business. I take it very seriously. If basketball is your business and like your basketball is deflated, you're gonna be pissed, right? If your shoes get like broken, the sole of your shoes are messed up, if your net is bust, like you're gonna be mad. Same thing, right? So I watch what I intake like very seriously. And then, I mean, it's an ongoing process. I feel like it's just an always like a learning
curve. So you mentioned earlier about making 10 to 20 stories a day, but for the bad days that you have, how do you navigate you personally? Because that must be some type of toll, especially when you're doing stories because it's live time. Yeah.
I'm very genuine. I'm really authentic. I think that's one thing, and that's not bragging about myself. It's just really the type of individual I promised that I would always show up as. If I'm having a bad day, you're going to know about it. I am a very private person. Don't get it twisted. A lot of people don't know what I'm going through currently, but I have a way where I disconnect my business and my life. There's a difference. Although my lifestyle is my business essentially, I will make sure that they don't conflict in a negative way. If I'm having a bad day and I'm going to cry on my story and share a mental health tip that's helping me, it's still my lifestyle. It's still value to somebody. But I also take a step back and say, like, is me showing up going to be like purposeful? Is it going to be intentional? You're just like at a job, you're allowed to take personal days. You're also allowed to take days off your social media. Like, and that's where people think that they can't take days off or they feel guilty for being off. No, like take a day off and then come back stronger. And that's what we just need to keep, like implementing I really value athletes, right? Like, for me, I used to play soccer and now that I'm lifting weights, I look up to like, I just think of like Cristiano Ronaldo, like Messi, because again, like I watch soccer. If you relate to basketball players, like they get down, they get back up. They hurt their like ACL or whatever. They're back training and doing physio and just figuring it out. Everything is figure outable. So if I'm going through a bad day, I was moving, like I was open. I was like humble about it. I was open. I was transparent about what I was going through. And I shared it with people because you never know somebody is in the exact same position. Now, this isn't with all brands because again, not all brands showcase lifestyle like I do. If you're a service, then automate your posts. Like find a way where if you're having a bad week or a bad month, automate your posts and have an application posting for you if you don't want to show up, right? And you still want your business to run, find somebody else to run it for you if you feel like it's too consuming. And that's where I'm at. I'm outsourcing now. So I'm at a position in my business where I can outsource everything. And I can just focus on being the face of my business. And then everything else that's like not an income producing activity, I can outsource it.
What applications out there to automatically post your work?
So this is all information I'm going to include for you guys.
I know a free one that I use. But
Later is good. Later, Planoly, and Preview. They're free.
I use Facebook Creator.
Facebook Creator is probably I think you intertwine it with Facebook and Instagram, right? It posts on both. A lot of people underestimate apps like Canva where it's a 2-in-1.
No, Canva's amazing.
So Canva is literally like your golden ticket. Okay. You get the pro version. And then you share it with your friends and you only end up paying $4 each a month. Yeah.
Can I get on your plan?
Absolutely.
All right. I'm being serious.
I need one more person. So this is golden.
All right.
So then you guys don't have to pay so much. And then essentially you get access to it all, right? You build your own teams there. You create the content, the digital content or the written content.
So do you see all my content that I'm creating?
I can, yes. I will be able to see it. And then after that, it's just like, it just posts for you. You schedule it. Planoly is really good. What I find though is sometimes Instagram wants everything to be done through the app. So sometimes using apps can actually
third-party apps.
Yeah, third-party apps will like I've been shadow banned before for using third-party apps. So like I try not to use them. I try to just have them so I can aesthetically see what my posts are going to look like and have a plan and then post them myself. Like. And people ask me what apps I use to like edit and stuff. I honestly edit everything on Instagram. I do not like, I take the reels on the reels. I take my stories on the stories. I don't use any outside apps per se. Like if you go through my feed, it just looks effortless because that's literally what it is. Like, I don't take time into making an aesthetic because it doesn't work for me. You have to find what works for you.
I don't like when, this is my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I don't like when I see like, you know, like the patterns when it comes to your galleries. Cause I feel like Instagram's not an art gallery. So when people do like, 3 posts or 3 pictures are the same and they keep that, I feel like that can only limit someone. What do you think about that?
I think so too. I think it limits my creative mind. Like, if I want to post a pink post today and like today's my purple day, like, no, I'm going to post what I want to today. And that's where people overcomplicate it. They want it to be perfect. They want it to be flowing. And
because a lot of people say like, oh, my page is messy. But me personally, if you have good information on your page, then people are going to gravitate to that no matter what. And
find a flow. Like, if you, mostly because I wear the same colors all the time.
Yeah.
My page is normally just like neutral pink, browns,
true.
right?
So it already flows.
But that's just because it already feels natural to me. So it was that one.
Yeah.
So it feels natural to me. It feels like I do not have to try extra harder just to be real. And I want you to look at my page and say, like, you mean I don't have to work so hard, or I don't have to make it like an aesthetic for me to make money on Instagram? Because that's the thing. Like, you can make tons of money on Instagram. You can monetize your scroll and it doesn't have to look picture perfect. I make money on Instagram. If you look at my Instagram, you wonder like,
I just seen you partner with Fresh.
Yeah. So there's a lot of brands that I partnered up with, but HelloFresh is probably my favorite because I love food.
Yeah.
And it just makes it so easy. But
did you reach out to them?
No, they reached out to me.
Okay, dope. What can you reach out to them? Let's say prior.
Absolutely. I actually right now I'm focusing on a pitch for brands. Because at the end of the day, if a brand wants to work with you, absolutely they'll reach out. But if you want to work with a brand, you reach out to them. Think about like shooting your shot with a guy or a girl, right?
Yeah.
If they're
what does a pitch look like?
I would so my pitch would be like, hi, my name is Sofia Aguilar. And then I put my Instagram name. I was looking over your page, find the @ or the business or the brand. And it aligns with my brand. Name what you like about them. Like, you don't want it to be like so vague that you're sending the same one to each brand. Like, it has to be individualized, right? Like, I love this. I love that. I would love to work with you. I have a media kit. So I think for me, I have a media kit now and I have things that I utilize to send out to brands. I recommend you do one. It's like, takes 5 seconds. Canva has so many already done. So if your goal is to be like an influencer, brand ambassador, and get paid for brands, start reaching out to them. You can get paid as little as like $10, or maybe you just start with free products. But your goal is to get to a point where you have like social media is my full time, which means that anything that I do on it, I get paid to do it.
100%.
So absolutely though, like I value brands that reach out to me, but I like to take the upper hand and say like, I want to work with you. That just shows that I'm interested, and it also gives me exposure. And if they say no, I just take that right back and I'm like, perfect.
You know what?
Awesome,
I was just about to ask you, how do you handle rejection when it comes to business? I was just going to ask you that.
Okay, this is really weird and you're going to laugh at me, but the same way, like, I treat my business as any relationship.
Well, business is a relationship.
Yeah. And like, if you get rejected, it's like, okay, like, move on.
No,
you know what I mean?
I take rejection pretty bad. I need to work on it though. But go ahead.
I just think it's a learning opportunity. There's so much learning outcomes in getting a no, right? The other day I pitched to a client for a content creation service, which was a lot of like, it actually was one of the cheapest proposals I've sent out, right? And they said no, and they went and found someone else. And you know what? At the beginning I was like, ouch, like, you didn't go for me. Like, I have so much to offer. And then I was like, 1 second. That means that whatever I had to offer, maybe it wasn't enough for you. But then the next day I got somebody pay me in full. So when another door closes, another one opens. And just know, like, also the reason why I take it so well is you are not for everybody.
Fact.
Right?
And you shouldn't be.
And you shouldn't be. Not everybody should want to work with you. And you shouldn't want to work with everybody else. So why, like, when I get no's or I get rejected, or maybe somebody turns their shoulder on me or backstabs me, I just see it as an opportunity for me to push like more and more and more the next time around, so that, you know, and maybe this is petty, or maybe this is like somebody doesn't recommend this, but just so when you see me working with a bigger brand, you're like, shoot, I should have taken my chance when I was like, when you pitched to me, or when I could have had the chance to work with you and I chose somebody else, but now you're working with them. Damn, the price is going to go up. So
yesterday's price is
you know,
not today's
it's
price.
not today's price. So you got that yesterday, but like moving on up, even if it's a day, even if it's like next week, just know that, again, you're not for everybody. The person who really wants to work with you is going to make it known. And if they don't want to work with you, they're also going to make it known. And then that's up to you to take it personally or to see it as a learning opportunity.
Okay, dope. So what can we expect, some short-term things that we can see from you?
So my short term, actually, I want to do something like what you're doing. But
which one? What?
So I want to have a way to bring a community together.
Oh, okay, dope.
And it really inspires me that you're able to bring a community together.
Appreciate that.
Of starting up businesses, because a lot of people don't know what to do. And starting a business is really lonely. Entrepreneurship is really lonely. And I feel like a lot of the value that people will get is learning from each other. So one of my short-term goals is to do a VIP content group day.
Dope.
So I'd love to have a group of entrepreneurs
Let's collab with my
together.
audience.
Yeah, like I'd love to just have them all together and create lots of content for each other.
Oh,
and
that'll be good.
yeah, and it not just be a content
Like
day, but it'd be like a
event space.
yeah,
and then,
it's gonna be a big value session. I've already planned it out. I think it's just execution now. I want to have speakers. I want to have food. I want to have like music, and I want it to be a vibe. Like we all need it. All businesses need it. We all need content
all the time.
We all need community. We all need, and I was going to name the event CCC, and I don't remember what the third C is right now, but I have it on my phone, and it's content, community, and something. Content,
Corey.
Community. And Corey, there we go. And it's going to be a vibe. My long-term goal is I want to take my business completely virtual and online, and which I can do. I love the in-person presence. I really love the ability to work with people one-on-one. But I want to reach people around the world. Like I know that there's somebody in Portugal and in Australia and in like in the States who wants to work or who wants to learn how to create content, but cannot get access to me one-on-one. I mean, if you do want to fly me out, you can fly me out. But there's so much value in providing that online database. So I don't see it as like a long-term, like 5-6 year plan. I see it like long-term being like my VIP group content day might be next week. Like that's how I come up with ideas. I'm like, okay, cool. We're doing it and execute my long-term plan of the online stuff, probably like by April or June. And I get kind of scared putting things out there because that means it holds me accountable. So good. I will be having a masterclass happening soon.
When? I'm gonna hold you accountable.
I want to have it done by mid-December.
Okay.
So that everybody can start January with a full plan of what their year content's going to look like. This masterclass is going to take you from 0 to 100. And it can really make sure that whether your goal is 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months to be creating your content and having Instagram work for you, like that's going to be like your whole toolbox. You don't need anything else. A
year of consistent content will literally change your life, in my opinion.
I think 30 days of consistent content will change your life. I'm on a reel a day, and it's been very, very good to me.
Actually, when these episodes start dropping, I'll be I have set up to post every single day.
Perfect.
So we'll see how that goes.
And it's not that hard for you to do that. You have lots of content,
especially with a podcast, because I'm just gonna cut up clips and stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so I asked this question to every single guest. No, there's 3 questions that I ask.
Okay.
We're going to start with the first one. What is the best and worst advice that you've ever gotten?
I think the bad advices outweigh the good, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
You're the first that said that. What's one? Yeah.
Let's start with the good.
Okay.
Focus on myself was the best advice I've ever gotten.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. It's because I don't focus on myself. I'm a giver. I'm an empath. I like to put others before myself. So I'll always focus on everybody else before I focus on myself. And it's just been a year that I've been focusing on myself, and not in like a scary way or anything. It's more so just putting myself and the person that I want to become first. My coach, her name's Gazi, and she speaks of me becoming the person with my goal. So I told her my goal, and it's like, it's a great goal. Like I want to make like $30,000 a month. But she told me, Sophia, what does the person that makes $30,000 a month look like? Is she lazy? Does she eat bad? Does she go to the gym? Does she get into fights every day with her boyfriend? Or who is that person? And it's crazy because I've never looked at it that way. I've never seen it as, who am I? What are my habits? What do I consume? What do I eat? And that's more important than your goal. Because if you can master yourself, you can have anything that you want. So that's probably the best piece of advice that I've gotten is work on myself, focus on myself, because the moment you take care of yourself, your heart, your mind, and your soul, you are much more, I guess, nurtured and put together to give to everybody else, because you can't pour from an empty cup. And then the worst piece of advice that I've gotten, let's just do like 2, because I'm not putting anybody on blast here. I want you all to watch this podcast. Probably the worst piece of advice that I've gotten is like, I don't know the way that it was put, but it was like, don't sleep. Like, or it was if you're sleeping, like your dreams, like, come on. I guess like don't sleep, or somebody else is gonna do it like better than you, or whatever.
Because your brain.
And it was like literal. It was literal, but also figuratively. Like, actually, you need to sleep. You need to function. So don't be stuck in this hustle culture of like hustle. You're gonna burn
yourself out like that.
I burnt out. For 6 months straight, because what I would do is I would ignore the signs that my body was telling me of like, I need rest. And I'm like, no, I need to get clients. I need to get my goal. I need to do this. Like, I need to figure out what I want to do. And it was so toxic because it was a hustle culture. And when you have that, which, I mean, we're in the era of a hustle culture, we don't have a balance. And I didn't have a balance for the longest time. It was always money. And it's not that money is the root of all evil, is what you do with the money and how you allow it to control you. So that's where I was like obsessive. I was super obsessive with my hustle, that it actually drained me and got me sick. Like I got sick in January, to the point where I'm recovering right now. Oh, okay. So I burnt out. It was like really, really hard, but I'm back, and that's probably like the worst. And then I would say another one, is only, or it was like actually you told me the opposite. No. It wasn't you. You told me to focus on one thing. The worst piece of advice that I've gotten is do everything. You'll figure it out. And you know me, like I dance. I go to school. I'm currently in school for social work. I teach dance lessons. I'm also like a performer. I choreograph. And one thing that you've always told me, or like, Sophia, you need to do one thing and do it well before you get ahead of yourself and do another thing.
I need to take my own advice sometimes though. But
but I think that because a lot of people say like, you know what, just do it all, like explore it. There's so many opportunities.
Run yourself thin.
Yeah. And it's also like a cultural thing. Like my family has always said like, you know what, just try it out. You never know what it's going to do. And while that's good, it just kind of confuses you because we're not meant to be good at everything. Maybe we have talents and we have dreams and we have passions, but we're not meant to do everything, and not everything benefits you. And there's a scripture in the Bible that I always say is, yes, you can do everything, but not everything's going to benefit you. So I was stuck in this whole world of like, I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to do this, but sometimes you're just not the person for it. And there's somebody else fit for that position. You just stay in your lane and focus on that. And because I've been focusing on content creation for literally, since June, look where I'm at. This is my full time. Yeah. I don't do anything else.
You've been killing it lately.
And I'm focused. I have a balance. I have boundaries. And I've never been happier because I decided to focus and give one thing my all.
Okay. I like that. Okay. The last question is, because we like to make predictions on the show, so when it happens, I'm going to replay it back. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
You know what? I actually don't like thinking that.
Okay. No, that's fair.
You know what it is? It's like we get so caught up in, because if you asked me 5 years ago, so 5 years ago, I think I was like 19, 20, 21, 22. I think I was 19 or 18. So I was graduating high school and I was like, when I'm 23, I want to live in Portugal and have my own house and be married and have a kid. I wanted a kid right now.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
I'm 23 years old. Like, so in a perfect world, I would have had a kid. I would have lived in Portugal, but we had a pandemic. Like, and I'm also not married. And I also don't have a kid, but I have a successful business, right? So I guess where I see myself 5 years from now in a personal level, I picture myself with like the highest level of emotional intelligence because I think that's the key to everything. I'm a very emotional person. I'm working on my emotions and not allowing them to control me and consume my business, my personal life. So that's something that I see myself like having and mastering. I also want to help a lot of people around the world in ministry. I don't know in what sort of aspect, but I know that I want to be serving and I want to be making an impact around the world. I see a lot of freedom for everybody. I see myself like being able to free individuals, whether it be financially, with food or with money or with business opportunities. In 5 years, like, do I want to, have a family? Absolutely. But I think above all, it's focusing on business. It's focusing on personal life. And I just want to be healthy. Like, I think the best wish and the best goal that I could desire for myself and my family is like the utmost health.
Okay, dope. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
I have one suggestion. Because you said you wanted to work remotely, the book called 4 Hour Work Week. Actually, he has it.
Oh yeah,
4 Hour Work Week. You got to read.
I'm taking it home today.
You actually have to read that because it will open your mind to like literally outsourcing everything that you need to. That's what opened my mind because eventually, obviously, I want to outsource everything and just literally focus on interviewing people and not everything else. So pick up that book. Wow, that was a packed interview. Let everybody know your socials. Where they can find you. Yeah.
So my website is www.sofiaaguilar.ca. My Instagram is saguilar_. My TikTok is the same as my Instagram. My YouTube is Sofia Aguilar.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think I'm on all the platforms. Soon to come to Black is the New Rich. And yeah, I have a question for you though.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, no, go ahead. You're good.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. What do you want? Like, what's the outcome of this podcast?
The outcome of this podcast is to help the beginner entrepreneurs reach the next level. Literally. So every person that I interview I view them as an expert in their field. So I want someone to be like, hey, I want to be a content creator. I want to do that for a living. Because I get the concept. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday I had a real estate agent. I want to be a real estate agent that sells commercial units and residential units, or how to manage money or whatever. Like, I want people to gain a lot of information that they didn't know before and use it for their personal life.
Sick.
Well,
now you guys know.
That's it. That was a packed interview. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right. That's a wrap.
Everything black on black. Nigga, if I started that facts on facts. Who's got a lot of smoke, pack for pack, bang.